Why did he keep the documents? Because he liked to say, I've got it and you don't. Because he thought it would be cool. Because it just struck his fancy on any given day.
Donald Trump's former national security advisor, of course, John Bolton, reacting Tuesday here on MSNBC. Trump continues to insist that he has the right to the classified documents, citing the Presidential Records Act. But does he? Joining me now is an expert on all of this, Jeff Smith, the former general counsel for the CIA and an attorney who specialized in the laws around classification, also serving in the Pentagon and the State Department. It's great to see you again. Thank you so much. Well, does the former president have the right under the Presidential Records Act to take whatever he wants?
No, absolutely not. The law is crystal clear. The Presidential Records Act, adopted after President Nixon, is very clear that when the moment the president leaves office, the things that are presidential papers, that is to say government property, are not his. These papers are no more his than Air Force One is his. And especially state secrets. How can they're government secrets. They're not Trump secrets.
And if he declassified something when he was in the White House, does that give him any special powers over those documents as he leaves?
If he declassified them properly and it was recorded so that everybody knows it's been declassified, it would be part of a copy of the document would be part of his records that he could take with him.
But the fact is, as he claims, he's declassified things because he just had an automatic power over that when he would go upstairs and take them with him. There's a process, because you can't declassify. If a president declassifies something and no one else knows, as you were just pointing out, no one knows how to treat those documents. So there is a record that is kept by the National Security Council, apparently.
It's very tightly controlled. And when you think about it for a moment, it makes no sense that the president can just decide mentally that I've declassified this. That's no more valid than Admiral Poindexter saying that President Reagan had made a mental finding authorizing the Iran-Contra affair, when that sort of thing would have to have been done in writing and reported to Congress. And Poindexter was convicted and later pardoned. But the former president is simply as wrong as one can be about this.
Some lawyers last night were suggesting on our air that his admission in his Bedminster speech, I took them and I had the right to take them, and he said as well that he took them because he likes to read these things and hadn't a lot. He was very busy when he was president and hadn't finished reading all of them. That was described by Andrew Weissman as a confession.
I think it is. I mean, he has made any number of statements that the special counsel now has on the record that are going to put him in deep, deep jeopardy, because he's essentially said, these are mine, and then later said, well, they're not really mine, I can't declassify them. So I think he's in real trouble.
What about the whataboutism, which is to say, well, Hillary did it, and so did it, Joe Biden did it when he was a senator, all of those, especially the Hillary emails?
It's just nuts. The difference is profound. In those cases, as in other cases where people realize they have classified information, they turn it over right away. And the problem here is that Trump has demonstrated that his intent to keep them after having been told repeatedly and getting a subpoena. He's shown the intent. He wants to keep them in direct contradiction of the law.